Okay, let's get some people mad because I guess it's been quite some time since I talked about controversies on this channel. Like, I'm not even sure, but I guess the last one was the bisexual Superman, which I read the comics and talked about it. But anyway, let's talk about some controversy stuff. Because I don't feel like Steam is the platform for me anymore. So for whoever may not be aware, there is this thing called the internet, and you can buy games online, and you can just download them. You don't need to insert discs anymore. Some people will say that's a good thing, some people will say that's a bad thing. It will depend on the age of the person that you ask that. But anyway, jokes aside, you can buy games online and you can do that through multiple platforms. And I guess the biggest ones nowadays being Steam and Epic Games. And between those two, Steam is the biggest one, which is like the one with more players, the one where people usually buy their games from. And it's just a store. So if you develop a game, you can sell them on Steam or on Epic or whatever platform that you choose. And the way they make money is by getting a cut. So Steam takes 30%. If I remember correctly, Epic Games takes 10. And of course there will be other platforms like Roblox. I guess they have a different model which I don't remember correctly, but it's based on what you need from them, if I remember correctly. Like, the percentage will change depending on the support that you need from Roblox. Like, it can be a higher value or a lower value. But if I remember correctly, the lowest is also 30% and the highest is 70%. So if you release games on there, their cut can be either of those two options. I'm not sure if there is a middle one, but man, it's not the subject of this video. But anyway, you can sell games online, people can buy them, and the stores get a percentage of the value. With time, I just started to realize that Steam was giving me more issues than actually making my life easier. And also, I discovered better competitors, which is when I realized that Steam is quite garbage, actually. It's like when you are in a toxic relationship, and sometimes you may not actually see that you are in a toxic relationship until someone from outside points out the flaws of your partner to you. And that's kind of how I felt when I discovered GOG or GOG or Galaxy of Games or good old games or whatever they are calling themselves now. But anyway, that's how I felt when I discovered GOG. So first of all, I guess we can go through the topics based on the timelines of purchasing and playing a game. So on Steam, you cannot do much through their website. So you need to download their app, and through their app, you will be able to download your games. And there is, of course, some other stuff that you just cannot do through their website. Like, Download the games, I can understand, because they need to actually they need to go through the process of verifying if you own the game that you purchased, right? So I can understand the need of an app. But there is some stuff like changing some settings on your profile. You cannot do that through the website. You can only do through the app. And I don't really like having to download a application to get access to other applications. Especially when it comes to games, because I don't really have that many games installed at once. Like, I only play like 2 or 3 games at a time. Like right now, I'm playing either Payday 2 or X3. Those are the only 2 games that I'm playing. And the problem is that, at least for me, I don't like having the entire store on my PC if I'm playing only 2 games. Like, on Steam, I must have about 50 games. I'm not entirely sure, but I guess it's a value like that. But I'm only playing 2 games. So the other 28 are just there, kind of polluting my view. Like, every time I open Steam, I see all the other games that are in there. Meanwhile, on GOG, I can just ignore the app. I can do anything from the website, which is great, because one of the things that they advocate for, it's the lack of softwares that verify ownership. Because there are some softwares that constantly verify the ownership of a game, and they keep running in the background doing online checks, just to like try to fight against piracy. It usually does not work, but anyway, GOG advocates against that. So when you buy a game through their website, you can just download the offline installer for that game, because they don't have softwares. The games on their platform does not come with softwares that will constantly keep doing checks to see if you own the game or not, which happens on Steam. Like, some games will have this background check, and of course the Steam app is also a check to see if you own the game or not. But anyway, since I only play a few games at a time, I don't see the reason for having the entire store installed on my PC. So when I want to play games that I bought through GOG, I can just download the offline installers, install just the games, and that's it. I don't have the entire store on my PC, which is great, because, as I said, I only play a few games at a time. I don't like have 20 games installed at the same time. But anyway, even before buying games, even before having to install games, you have to buy them. And again, GOG offers a better deal for me. So on Steam, on both platforms, you have multiple ways of buying the game, of paying for the game. Like the most popular, with a credit card. But there is also, depending on where you are, there will be other options for local payment processors. And the thing is, with Steam, when you ask for a refund, they can only refund back to your bank account if you purchased the game with a international credit card. So like they have, I don't know, let's say they have 10 different payment methods. The only one where the money will get back to a bank account is through international credit card. So if you buy the game through any other of the 9 methods, when you ask for a refund, the money will go to your Steam wallet. So the Steam wallet is, well, it's basically your Steam account. So the money will be on your Steam account and you can use that to make future purchases, but the money just cannot leave your Steam account. It gets locked in there. Meanwhile, on GOG, it doesn't matter. I bet my left dick you can just go to the office and pay with cash, and you can ask for a refund later. And they will give back your money. Like, it doesn't matter the method that you use to make your purchase. Like, they have, which is even stranger for me because they have the same methods that Steam have for purchasing games, but on GOG, it doesn't matter what method that you choose, the money will always go back to your bank account unless you choose to be refunded through your GOG account, which is also an option. And it's like, it's the same methods that Steam has, but Steam does not refund back to your bank account, unless of course you buy through an international credit card. I searched about it just a little bit and I got to an answer, but first of all, I cannot verify. Like, I wasn't able to verify if this is true or not, and I wasn't on Steam back then, but the answer that I found is that Steam never refunded purchases back to your bank account until they got involved in a lawsuit that forced them to do so. So there was a lawsuit against Steam due to the refund policies, and only then they started to refund the money back to people's bank account. But it was only for purchases made with an international credit card. And like, that's the reason why GOG refunds back to your bank account, while Steam only refunds back to your Steam wallet. Even though they have the same payment methods. Again, I could not verify if that's true, but it seems to be true to me. It does not seem to be like a how it's called, a limitation on Steam's side, because GOG is a very smaller company, and they are able to refund back to your bank account. So if GOG does not have this problem, at least to me, it does not seem like a technical limitation. It seems more like a matter of ideals. And like, that's another reason why I don't think Steam is for me anymore. But anyway, so you bought the game, you installed the game, and now it comes to testing the game. So first of all, I don't have a really good PC, so I can't run some of modern games, like the more demanding games, like let's say Red Dead Redemption 2. I cannot run that. So when I buy a game, I need to go through the process of testing if the game will actually run. So I need to tweak some settings before actually playing the game. And the problem lies on the refund policies. So Steam refunds Steam's refund policies has only 2 clauses. So kind of, there is more stuff, but what really matters for us now is 2 clauses. So to get a refund, you need to ask for the refund up until 14 days after the purchase. So you have 2 weeks to ask for a refund, or if you play the game for less than 2 hours. And you will not be able to ask for a refund if one of those 2 clauses gets broken. I'm not sure if that's the correct terminology, but let's say you played for 2 hours and 1 minute, but you made the purchase yesterday. You cannot ask for the refund because you played more than 2 hours. And the opposite is also true. Let's say you bought the game 15 days ago and you only played it for 10 minutes. Again, you cannot ask for the refund because it's been more than 14 days. So which one comes first? You break the clause. It's not like a matter of breaking both of them, like, it's been 15 days that you bought a game and you played for more than 2 hours. It's not how it works. Meanwhile, on GOG, it's 30 days. That's it. It seems kinda crazy when you say it out loud, but I already asked for some refunds and that's it. It's 30 days, no questions asked. Which is great for me. So you buy a game and you have 30 days to ask for a refund. It doesn't matter how much you played the game. As long as it hasn't been 30 days since your purchase, you can just ask for the refund. And it's automatically done. So you don't even need to contact the support. Well, unless on a very specific case, because they still didn't implement a feature for that, which is buying games on bundles. So if there is a bundle of, let's say, 3 different games that comes together in the same purchase, to ask for a refund, you need to actually contact the support. But outside of that, it's automatically done. So you don't even need to bother about being put in a blacklist or whatever for asking for refunds. Anyway, that's great for me because, as I said, I don't have that powerful of a PC. So I need to actually test the games. So first of all, I need to test if the game will run. Then I need to test if I will enjoy the game. And of course, after some time, I will test mods because I like modding games. And the issue is sometimes I'll take a lot of time to actually get the game to run, especially now that I'm using Linux. Some games is just very straightforward, you just install and it works out of the box. But for some games, I need to actually tweak some settings and search for workarounds to make them actually run. And sometimes I'll have to like keep opening and closing the game over and over to actually see if the problem got solved. So that will kind of pile up. Like every time I open the game, it will be like 1 minute, 2 minutes, and that will start to pile up. And of course, after actually solving the problem, I have the other stuff to test. Like, let's say I was having a black screen, so I need to search for the fix for that black screen, and every time I'll do something and then I have to test to see if the black screen got fixed. So that will pile up. Then I need to test if the game will run. And again, I'll have to tweak the settings, and I don't know how long that will take. And some games will take quite some time to actually start. Like Metal Gear Solid 5. That game, I'll make a guess of half an hour for the game to actually start. Because there is kind of a prologue to it, and on that prologue you will be locked to a hospital, and this hospital does not reflect at all the rest of the gameplay, because it's the game takes place on a open area. It's an open world game, but for the first half hour you're locked into a hospital. So for obvious reasons, the hospital you will get a better performance on the hospital because it's a smaller ambient, with less stuff going on. There is less enemies, there is less characters, there is no vegetation, there is no trees, there is no grass, there is no animals, so you will naturally get a better performance, and you will be locked on that area for like half an hour. So you have, let's say, everything run just fine, so now you have only 1.5 hours to actually test the game. Like, you will leave the hospital and then the game will actually start. So like it's half an hour that you lost, that you was trapped in this area, that does not reflect the general gameplay at all. The same kind of happens with Death Stranding, but to a even worse degree, because I'll make a guess that it's like an hour before the game actually starts. So the same thing, you will be at the beginning of the game, you will be locked at a very small area, which is kind of a tutorial. For the ones that play the game, I'm talking about the area where we meet Fragile for the first time. It's even before we reach the East region. So you will be locked at a very small area, and there is a lot of cutscenes in that game before you actually start playing the game. So that will of course make it harder for you to get a refund, because the game will take longer to actually start. And every time that I bought a game on Steam, I usually set a timer on the side. Like, I got my phone and I set a timer for 2 hours, because that was like the amount of time that I have to ask for a refund. And every time, like, I only played the game for like 1.5 hours at best, and then I just closed and took a decision like, okay, do I want to keep playing this, or do I want to just give up and ask for a refund? Most of the time I gave up and asked for a refund, because I didn't want to risk playing more than 2 hours and not enjoying the game. Meanwhile, on GOG, as I said, it's 30 days. I can actually finish the game if I want to. I can finish the game and then just ask for a refund. If like I didn't care about morals and ethics. But anyway, there is also the problems of games that completely changes after a while, like Monster Hunter Rise. That game will completely change once you finish the campaign and you get to the end game, because they will introduce a new gimmick to the game once you finish the main story. So well, it's on the fights, because every fight when you reach end game is gonna have a damage check. So you need to deal a certain amount of damage to the enemies, or else they will use this powerful attack. So there is, of course, this type of games that after a while they will completely change. And on Steam, there is nothing you can do. If a game completely changes, there is a game called The Messenger, which is a pixel art game, which I thought about buying at some point, but I just gave up because I saw some gameplay of it. So The Messenger, I don't really remember what the game is about, but I remember kind of the gimmick of it, which is that the game will change kind of through years. Like the game will start like as an 8-bit game, and then after some time it will become a 16-bit game, and then a 32-bit game, and then it will also change between genres. So at a point it will become a Metroidvania. So the game changes as you play it. As you go through the story, the game will change its aesthetics and how you play the game. So on Steam, again, it's 2 hours to ask for a refund. So what if you don't like the game after the 2 hours? Like, what if the game completely changes to something else that you don't enjoy? Well, on Steam there is nothing you can do about it. Meanwhile, on GOG you have more than enough time to actually make up your mind. And that's like another big reason for me to have gave up on Steam. And I guess that's it. I don't glaze over platforms. Like there is some people that I saw online. So first of all, it's people online, so let's take it with a grain of salt. Like, I can't find every type of person online, so let's not like take this that seriously. But I saw some people online that overly glaze Steam. Like, there is Epic Games. They have kind of a solid launcher. The store works. It used to be way worse, but now it at least works. They lack a bunch of features, but I don't want to get into that. Anyway, Epic Games, every week they give a game for free. Because they have a lot of cash due to some games on their store that are exclusive to them. So they make a lot of money with those games, and they are able to afford free games every week. So you can just create an account and just like grab those free games. Like, on my Epic account, I must have like 400 games by now. Most of them I got for free. Like, I think I bought only one game through Epic, which was the upgrade for Death Stranding, because they gave the base game for free, and then I bought the upgrade from the base version to the director's cut, and I guess that's the only thing that I bought on Epic, and it's still the platform that I own most games. Anyway, there is Epic. They gave games for free, and I saw some people online saying that they refuse to get those free games because they don't like Epic, and instead they choose to buy it on Steam, which I just think it's really dumb. Like, come on, it's just a platform. You can get the games for free in there, and I just find it kind of weird for you to refuse the game for free just to buy it on this other platform. Like, come on, it's free. It's free stuff. So there is these people that overly glaze Steam. I never saw myself being a part of that group, which made it quite easy for me to ditch Steam for other platforms. In this case, ditching Steam in favor of GOG, which, I don't know, I just found it to be a better platform. There is of course some issues, like, oh, I forgot to mention, on GOG I can just buy the games without having to worry about, well, I guess I kinda mentioned, but I didn't give examples. So GOG does not have ownership checks, so you can like not worry about buying a game and then having some software running in the background just constantly checking if you own the game or not. And an example of that is Final Fantasy VII, the original version of the game. So I was thinking about buying that because I saw that it was on sale on Steam. And I really liked that game when I played for the first time. I still didn't finish that. It's on the to finish list of games. But anyway, I saw it on sale on Steam and I was like, okay, why not? Right? I played a couple years ago, a little bit, and I enjoyed, so why not to buy this game? And I was almost buy it, but then I decided to look for the reviews and I saw something that made no sense, which was this game, Final Fantasy VII, not the remake, but the original game. If you buy it on Steam, to play the game, they require you to have a Square Enix account. Square Enix being the developers of Final Fantasy VII. Which makes no sense to me because the game was released on, well, it was prior to the 2000s. I'm not gonna try to guess the year. And I don't know, it just does not make sense for such an old game to have this type of stuff. So it would be, if I bought it on Steam, it would be another account that I would have to manage. Because I don't think I have a Square Enix account. At least I don't remember creating one so far. So there is that. Just a second. Okay, so I guess Steam's assassins are looking for me already. My window just misaligned itself out of nowhere and I had to go fix it. I hope I managed to fix it, but anyway, I was talking about the Square Enix account. So the thing is, since GOG does not have these online checks to see if I own the game or not, I don't need to bother about this type of stuff. I can just buy the games on GOG and not have to worry about having to create yet another account. Because usually when developers release their games on GOG, which happens sometimes, they usually remove those features. So, well, those requirements, like what is the game? Shadow of War. You can buy that game on Steam and you can buy that game on GOG. On Steam, there is online checks that are made constantly to see if you won the game or not. And there is, of course, some online features that requires connection with the internet. So if you don't have internet, you can just not, you will not be able to access those features. Meanwhile, if you buy the game on GOG, the developers actually went through the trouble of changing the code of the game, not only to not require you to be connected to the internet, but they actually changed the places where those features are in the game. So there is a feature for upgrading your army. If you buy the game on Steam, you will of course open the game, and then you will go to this specific tab where you will be able to level up your army. Meanwhile, if you buy the game on GOG, this tab where you can upgrade your army was shifted to another part of the game, because on Steam, to access this tab, you need to be online. And when buying the game on GOG, being online is not a requirement. So the developers actually had to go through the trouble of actually changing the code of the game to shift, like to change the places where you need to go to upgrade your army. Because the online features are not there on the GOG release. Well, kind of. They are there, but you don't need to be online to access them. So they actually, like, let's say there is a tab called just the online tab with all the features. And to access that tab, this online tab, you need to, of course, be connected to the internet. That's how it works on Steam. And then on GOG, this online tab does not exist because the game does not require you to be online. But all the features are still in the game because they took the features from the online tab and they placed it somewhere else, and then they completely removed the online tab. So you're not losing anything. It's just that the features that on Steam requires you to be online for you to access, on GOG they are in different places that does not require you to be online to access. So yeah, that's I guess that's about it. That's all the reasons that made me switch from Steam to GOG, and I don't think I'm gonna go back to Steam. On GOG there is of course the problem of not having all games. Like when a game gets released on PC, it's almost guaranteed that they will sell it on Steam. And it's not entirely sure if the game will be published on GOG or not. So there is that. Some games only get sold on GOG, but some games get sold only on Steam. But again, I don't see that as being an actual problem, because it's kind of how do I explain? It's like when you see a bad job offer. Like, let's say there is a company that before hiring someone, this company does a background check to see if the person have sued the previous job. Like, let's say you worked for a company and they didn't pay you in time. Like every time they took like 2 months to pay you your salary. So when you left the company, you left like with 2 salaries that they didn't pay, because they didn't pay they didn't made the payments on time. So you had to sue the company to actually get that money that they own you. So when you're searching for another job, you find this company and you get in touch with them, and this company does a background check, and the company sees that you sued your previous employee, so they don't hire you. I don't see that as a problem, because you are probably dodging a bullet. Like, this company saw that you sued your previous employee, and it was because of payments that were not being made on time. So there is a very high chance that this new company was planning on doing the same. So when a game gets released on Steam and it does not get released on GOG, I just take that as me dodging a bullet, because maybe the game does online background checks to check for ownership, or maybe the game requires a account. The game requires you to create yet another account to be able to play it, or I don't know, maybe the game has some issues with the refund policy, because maybe the game is like really good for the first 2 hours, and then it becomes complete garbage. So they will only release on Steam, because Steam, the refund policy for Steam is 2 hours. So you buy the game, you play for the 2 hours, it's gonna be amazing, and then the game becomes garbage. And if they release that on GOG, since the refund policy is 30 days, you can just ask for the refund. So I see games not being released on GOG as like me dodging a bullet. Like, why they didn't release on GOG? Because I'll assume that it's because there was something in the background that goes against GOG policies. But yeah, that's like, I guess that's it. All the reasons that made me kind of ditch Steam.